I'm going back in history to what most consider the greatest college game ever, NCAA Football 06 and the first road to glory. You could get a girlfriend in this game, play through drills to earn a scholarship, create a sign, use FCS schools, and so much more. I first played this game on the GameCube. It was actually the first console game that I ever played. So today I'm reliving my childhood on NCAA Football 06.
NCAA Football 2006.
We will eventually get around to some of the features that you could do on here, like create a sign. But the main goal of this video is to win the Heisman as a freshman, so we're about to load up the first ever road to glory ever. I think there's even a way to get FCS schools into this eventually, but here we go. Welcome to the race for the Heisman. Go from high school through college and to the pros, so we need to perform well in summer camp first to earn a scholarship. And of course, the first thing I have to do is just put my name in here. But I don't know what position I'm going to go with yet, and I can't hear any volume at the moment, but coach is apparently talking to us, so we're going to get a warm-up. I think this is where the drills start. Okay, so it looks like I could be either a pocket QB, a scrambling QB, running back, receiver, defensive lineman, linebacker, or defensive back. So we have more options on 06 than we're going to have in college football 26. And when I went back to 14 recently, I did a running back. I think I want to do a quarterback whenever 26 comes out, so for now we're going to do a wide receiver. I'm going to try to make myself a two-way player though as well. I want to see if we can also play on defense. These are apparently some of the controls. And let's see what we can do on this first drill. I am wide open, but we didn't get the ball. We still got some points for it though. The gameplay in this might look a little funky, but I feel like for its time it was actually pretty solid. I would like to get a target at some point though. I'm not sure what I need to do to call for the ball. It must not be X. So this time I'm gonna go for triangle, and that's what it took. All right, so we're already learning pretty early on. I don't know what our quarterback is doing, but this is not gonna get us very good scholarship offers if we don't start making plays. I'm actually very concerned that this is gonna go pretty poorly for us. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying this out for the first time, and here we go. 50-50 ball. Give me that. All right, this is it. We're going to fail the drill if we can't do anything here. Though we're able to bring it in, we get a tutty, and it looks like we have all these scholarships awarded for us. We have Tennessee, Oklahoma, Ohio State, or we could walk on somewhere. Let's see what this says though. Basically, got a scholarship from these schools. If you don't want to attend them, you can walk on to a program of your choice. When you select a school, you'll be placed on their roster as a freshman. You'll have 4 seasons to build your player and pursue the Heisman Trophy unless you decide to declare for the draft. So you can do that, declare as a junior. I don't really want to go with either Ohio State or Tennessee. I guess we could settle with Oklahoma. I'm really not sure how to feel about this, but I would like to have a chance at being near the top of the polls, winning a championship as a freshman. That's how I'm going to be in the Heisman run. And so we have already completed step 1. I guess now we just track our progress with the Heisman height meter, and we'll see what this brings us to. Okay, it's a little bit more customization. I'm actually really surprised that they have my small town from Kentucky on here. As you can see, we've gone with number 87. It fits right for a wide receiver. And I think we all know that I'm 6'6". I want to keep this road to glory as realistic as possible, so I'm not going to put myself at 240. I'm actually going to put myself at 243. I've just been eating a little bit more food recently. And I gotta say, those might be some of the most ugly gloves I've ever seen in the world, but that's what we're gonna have to be rocking with. There's only so much customization you could do back in the day. It's been a long time since I've played this game, so I almost thought for a second that I was gonna get to set my own specific stats, but I don't get to. This is just what we're gonna be stuck with. And I think this is where things get exciting. I know there's a dorm room on this game because it says your dorm room is ready for you to move in, and it is time for you to get ready for your freshman season. If you can become a legend at your school, you can continue your player's career in Madden 06, or you can stay in the college ranks as a coach in Dynasty mode. That is so neat. Some of the things we're going to be able to do is track our progress for the Heisman, hit the practice field to improve our game faster, perform well in big games to become a legend at the program, and also check our mailbox to read letters from our fans. I really don't know what to expect out of this mode. I just want to play through a full season, and it gave me a reason to come back to NCAA Football 06. As you can see, we are sitting here in our dorm room. We're going to start over. I guess we can scroll through all this stuff. And looking at our playbook, is this something that I'm able to go into and actually change? Or I could begin a drill. Okay, that's interesting. We can also view stats and rankings for your team and your player here. I know I just saw what I saw. This is the girlfriend part. Your girlfriend is uglier, and the better you play, the more attractive she gets. I don't know if there's another spot where you can look at her. I also need to look in who our quarterback was at Oklahoma at the time on this roster. Same with our running back, 97 overall. I have a feeling I'm going to know who this is. And of course I do. I cannot believe it was not processing in my low casual brain up here that Adrian Peterson was at Oklahoma at the time, so we have him alongside us. We also have Sam Bradford as our quarterback. He is the white guy, obviously, so he's the backup. He's an 84 as a freshman. I think this guy was Paul Thomas Thompson in real life. I've not heard of him. I was like 4 years old at the time. And more importantly, coming into college, we are the number 3 receiver on the depth chart already, so we should get good playing time. Now, I know it's going to be hard to win the Heisman Trophy. We got like Matt Leinart up here, I think. We also have Adrian Peterson, so he's going to take away a lot of shine from us. And then you got guys like Reggie Bush that are also going to make the Heisman race a tough challenge, but I do like we're starting as the number 4 team in the country. That was a lot of information to take in. We have our newsletter, so we can follow our team's story in the school newsletter. Is this something that we can read? I remember those magazine covers, especially in Dynasty. Those were always so neat. I might have figured out how to zoom in on the picture of our girlfriend as well. I do think it's kind of a crazy concept that as you perform better, she gets more attractive in this game. I guess we're going to follow that. This would never be in games now. But I feel like back then, sports games and just video games in general, they did whatever. They had a lot of fun stuff. We got fan mail that we can read too. Welcome, James. Congratulations on making the best decision of your life. The next few years are going to be something special. I have no doubt in my mind that you'll leave this place with a Heisman under your arm. See you on Saturday, Mike Dyer. So we got a fan already writing us in. What's going to be interesting is if I perform worse, if I have a game where I just don't get like any receiving yards, do we then get hate mail from the fans? That would be good. There's also a trophy case that I guess will expand the more that we achieve. Right now, there's nothing in there. And I can't believe I'm still looking through stuff. We got a closet with our players' personal information. Oh, I was hoping we could like change our clothes or something. Not sure what that would be for. I think the final and main thing is our team schedule. So we're going to go over to our team schedule. We're going to see that we have to play teams like TCU. This is back when Oklahoma wasn't in the SEC. But really thinking about it, I don't think TCU was in the Big 12 at the time either. I've gone over to our conference. We are right ahead of Texas, our biggest rivals. That's going to be a huge game for us on here. We just got to see who all's in here. Like Texas A&M, they're in the SEC now. So is Missouri. We got Nebraska in the Big 12. And I just want to note, this was back before NIL was a thing. As you can see, there are cinder blocks in our room holding up a plant. This dorm would be much nicer in the year 2025. Before we get too far in with all the drills and stuff, I just want to showcase some of the other parts of NCAA Football 06 that I want to talk about. We got stuff inside game features like Create a School that's actually in the game. Create a Player. They should bring that back and create a sign. This is where we could have a lot of fun. The fans are going to hold up this sign after we do something like have a passing touchdown or a receiving touchdown. So we need to make this something we want to read. And I think I've decided that we're just going to have to hope a female fan is holding up this sign because this is the first one we're rocking with. I need this one to be noticeable, so I made it pink. We're going to look out for the pink sign. I do think the longer that I start to create some of these signs, I'm kind of seeing why EA hasn't put these in the new game yet, though they still should. And I promise, I did not write this one. This is generically how it was set. Take that and like it. I'm just going to leave the rest of them how they are for now, though. We can change that in the future, but there is historic rosters on here. The names are not accurate. And then you can see the plethora of FCS schools that you can just sub into your dynasty. I'm hoping that I can also sub these into Road to Glory, but I'm not sure. How can I forget? There's also stuff like Pennant Collection, which I'm pretty sure could give you some awesome boost, like being able to kick like a 90-yard field goal at some points. That might have been a different game, though. I'm not sure. Look at all the stuff that EA used to do back in the day, though. They had their college basketball game, Madden, Arena Football, NBA Live. They even had some cameos, which I clicked into for a second. We'll let them play.
NCAA Football 2006.
That was the team. There was just neat stuff like that. Obviously, you got the mascot game. You even have rivalry games, which aren't just the FBS programs. You could even get matchups with rivalries with FCS ones. With all that being said, though, it is time that I actually play the game mode that I have set out to play. We're going to keep on exploring the game, seeing what we can find, but we're going to begin a drill, our first one in college. The reason they have stuff on the menus like this for impact players was this was the first year that they ever brought these to the game as well. So like NCAA Football 06 was a huge stepping stone from 05, and it seems like we're doing pass skeleton again. This is the drill that I had to run the last time trying to get scholarship offers. I just have to figure out how to catch it. I do think it's very hard to tell who's on what team when we're just wearing some pennies. But you can see our score up there, and then I'm calling for the ball. I need to read these controls. Evidently, I've been pretty dumb. I need to click the button that I'm on. Or maybe not. That didn't work. I just fell over and almost caused a pick. Just looking through this, I really don't think there was a button where you could call for the ball. So it's going to be interesting to see whenever we actually get it. If I get wide open, I would hope that our quarterback would see it, but he's been going to that guy. We ended up finishing at 11. And after a quick Google search, what I figured out is if you hold down X, that gives you a chance at getting it. With that in mind, I decided to restart this drill, though it's not making a difference. And as you can see, my team stinks. Plus, my quarterback doesn't see me. I'm pretty sure I put this on All-American as well. There's a touchdown. So it should be on the second hardest difficulty. I'm just hoping that there's some other drills as a wide receiver. We caught it off of the deflection there, and we almost got out. It's going to be very interesting to see how this entire road to glory goes. And I'm going to get better throughout it, that's for sure. Eventually, we'll have a much better practice. I will say it's kind of odd trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing, but I think if we just go over to our team schedule, we can actually get into our first game. And let's just hope that we don't lose against TCU. As you can see, we got the announcers in the booth, so this is pretty cool. And then they got us running out to midfield to be a part of the coin toss. I don't actually see myself out there though. Something I did not realize about Road to Glory in its first year back then was there was no player lock, and I'm pretty sure that you just play with the team the whole game. Now there was a clipping penalty, so we're back to our 15. But as you can see, we are in control of Goldsby at quarterback. We're over there on the right side of the field, and we're going to be able to get open and catch it. It's definitely odd. I thought I was going to be playing just my career in Road to Glory, but now we get to use Adrian Peterson. He breaks 2 tackles, and Adrian Peterson, known as Church on this roster, goes all the way to the 10-yard line. I think the weirdest part about all of this, though, is if we're here controlling the offense, fumbling it away into our lineman's hands without being able to click on and use myself is I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to win the Heisman Trophy, and that's a draw. Definitely not a solid start to my college career. And we might as well see what kicking used to be like back in the day. I'm pretty sure we just have to get the power right. Accuracy wasn't great, as it misses. I'm seeing a lot of this cutscene so far. And the Stadium Pulse were able to pump up the crowd. That's pretty cool for 2006. Did they just throw it with their running back? This is so odd. This is inside Road to Glory, and I'm playing as any guy on the field that I want to click onto, but we force a fumble. We pick it up. Another thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to see if we can sub ourselves in as a corner. It looks like you can't move a wide receiver over there until we've gotten down to this part. I'm a 62, but that'll at least give us a reason to play both sides of the ball. I am 6'6". I can't forget that, so I should catch a lot. What I'm waiting for through some of these highlights, though, is one of our signs to pop up. And look at how fake that crowd looks in the background. I'd say the on-field graphics really aren't too terrible, but the crowd looks rough. No way. There's also a penalty. It's going to be against them, and they're probably just as confused as I am. I'm not quite sure what the penalty could have been, but I want a tutty. I'm trying so hard to force feed the ball to myself to win this Heisman Trophy, but you clearly cannot stare down one receiver. It's going to be a challenge to figure things out at NCAA Football 06 throughout this entire season. I think if we get the kick meter like this, and then I make sure we don't even go for full power, just get the accuracy down the middle, it should be in. I'm just remembering these Pontiac drive summaries. Those were pretty cool back in the day. And here's another thing. There is no option for me to super sim. I have to play every snap of every game, including some bad kickoffs. Listen, we're gonna have some fun with it though. I have found myself. I'm going out there to make a tackle. They hit us with that play again. And if I can play both ways, both sides of the ball, I should be able to win the Heisman. What was that? How does that dirt taste is the sign that's popping up? I don't remember that feature being in the game. I'm not sure why. I guess I could also put myself at kick returner if I really want to go for the Heisman, though fumbling the ball away there was not what I expected. And you know what? It is time to use our height. We have a 6'6" receiver. We're going for the 50-50 ball, and it's going to be intercepted. Okay, this is going to be a long game, a lot longer than I was expecting. This is pre-accelerated clock, so I just wasn't expecting it to move as slow as it does. I missed a tackle. And let's see, are we going to be able to stop the run eventually? There we go. This is a huge 3rd and 2 for us. I was not in there to hold them. And I thought they would go for it where they actually did off of a fake punt. I was lined up to block the field goal, but they were out there ready to actually punt it to us. We're going to bring in the catch here. They just tackled us. And we currently have 3 receptions for 55 yards. Right here, though, is where we're going all the way to the end zone. Can we get that ball? We can. Don't even start in the comments about other guys being open as well. I fully understand that. I keep on faking it. What I am going for is stat padding, and I'm using controls that I might use back on current games. This has been very disappointing so far, though. Not exactly the way I was expecting this game to go for us. But I do remember this. During a timeout, which they took, we're able to boost a certain group of players. It does kind of blow my mind that there are still people that play these old games to these days, though, just knowing the newer stuff's out. I am struggling without my basic features of Super Sim and all of that. There are so many things, though, that I think just make this game feel so much more immersive than what we have now, and really make each game special. There's a lot of pop-ups I really like. We have finally been able to outrun them for a second. You're not going to be able to stop me. There we go. We're going to start putting our name into the Heisman conversation. What a play that was right there. It doesn't make me want to target myself the rest of the game now. I just need to make sure I got a touchdown over 100 yards. And I'm hoping that next week I'll get to show out as an impact player on the field. You can see me hyping the crowd up for this 3rd and 4. They're just going to go for the play action. Never mind, the running back had it. Very hard to tell. There wasn't an ass Corso on defense either, so we're just rocking with prevent. I had to select myself. They don't pick it up in the half. And going into the rest of the season, this will be the longest game that we play. I think I'm going to cut it down to 2-minute quarters. That's going to make it harder to win the Heisman Trophy, but I've already been in this game for almost 30 minutes. And hang on, I want to go back to something. Before most plays, there's some form of stat, whether it's the player that made a play on the last possession, your 3rd down conversion percentage, just something that pops up before every play that gets you immersed into each game. And I think that's something that's lacking in college football 25. Now, there's a lot of failed stuff, a lot of glitchy stuff like this that shows it's an outdated game. But EA's pulled stuff like Stadium Pulse from this title, so I don't see why they couldn't pull other stuff too. If we're going to be able to control everybody too, we might as well also have some fun with Adrian Peterson. Just not too much fun to where the Heisman Trophy could go to him over us. We had a touchdown here, except this pass was so bad and we still catch it. And where is one of the signs that I created? One of these days, it will have to pop up. I think after a receiving touchdown, it could. And you know exactly who's getting the eyes whenever we're in the red zone. There it is. It's caught. We've caught 2 touchdowns in our first game, though still no sign of the sign. And I don't think we're going to end up giving up any points on defense. I mean, they're just playing lights out. If we can hold them here, I'll see you all at the end of this game. We do. And I remember back in the day, always trying to make some crazy plays like this happen. I don't know if it's actually possible to pull off. It clearly isn't. Here near the end of the game, we're going to go for a 3rd touchdown just to have it, and we do get it. And as you can see, I'm going to be player of the game. I have almost 200 receiving yards with those tutties. Defense has actually been the most boring thing in the entire world. And I wasn't even thinking about potentially going for a 4th touchdown, but it could happen. We are in the Old Spice red zone. This is the report that they'd always pop up if you remember that. We're going to hand it off to Adrian Peterson one time. You know what? Let him get in. And I have now spent a literal hour inside this game finally getting through it. We're going to those 2-minute quarters. What a win. It's not like the gameplay wasn't fun. It was just a blowout, and it is very old. But this has definitely brought back a lot of memories. We're going to shoot for winning that Heisman Trophy, seeing all the features we can discover on this game. I didn't see anything talked about player of the game, though. We're just going to have to look at our stats through here. There's a composure bar up there that shows ours is pretty low, even though we were one of the only 2 receivers to catch a ball. And there was something so nice about just having simple information like this back on the loading screens. As you can see, our Heisman hype meter has raised a little bit, so that's a plus. But I think if we're going to appear in the actual Heisman watch, we're just going to have to wait a few more weeks. Or I just have to advance the week. That would probably help. This is going to lead to us getting some more fan mail, this time from Jeremy Harrison. Coaches must think pretty highly of you if you're going to hand over the reins to a freshman. You're going to have your work cut out for you, though. Jeremy, sitting from his couch, is telling me what it's going to be like playing football. I sure hope he has a history himself out there on the field. He's telling me the game moves at a whole different speed at this level. The faster you can make the transition, the better you'll be. At least he's wishing me good luck. And apparently, even though I had an incredible week, it's not going to cause my girlfriend to change. What has changed, though, is the Heisman hype meter is completely maxed out. All we did was play for 1 week. Evidently, I just needed to advance a little bit because, as you can see, there we are up at number 3. So we are put on notice across the rest of the country. And we might not have won National Player of the Week, but we did win Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. We also have a chance to be on the cover of our school newsletter. It looks like they did go with us. Defense comes to play. The Sooners keep TCU off the scoreboard, win the season opener 31-0. And I'm not sure if I get to choose what stats get upgraded in the future or what, but we are still an 82. Unfortunately, even though we are about to start beginning drills again, I'm pretty positive it's just the same drill, and this was the first time that they added in-season recruiting to Dynasty mode. Before that, it was just in the off-season. As you can see, it's the same drill that we have known and loved. So I have a feeling I'm probably not going to play drills much more throughout this video, but I'm just trying to figure out all the things that I can discover in these menus, and our quarterback is blind. I think if we run our actual route, he's more likely to feed us the ball, but we missed it there. And we're just going to have it go down that we were never a practice player. That's not too important. What I'm curious about is the pennant collection. I already referenced this once, but what I figured out is if I hit R1, there's not just team boost, you can also get these game cheats, which is the things I was talking about. It makes sense to earn credits by playing well because then you can get a new one. So protection is what we just got here. And it says this Old Spice Red Zone Performance Pennant improves your player's pass blocking for 1 game. So we can continue to get more and more of these and then use them throughout the year like if we play in the Music City Bowl. This is apparently how you unlock it to use and play now. There's almost 400 that you can get, so you just have to hope that you get lucky. It unlocks mascots that you can use in Mascot Mashup, I'm pretty sure. That's exactly what it does. And then it gives you teams that could have team boost, but what I'm looking for is those game cheats that give you some really exciting things. I hadn't gotten any of them yet until this one. QB dud. I think this could be good. This pennant causes your opponent's passes to be high and wobbly. And I am telling you, as a kid, some of these were super fun. I know there's one with a kicker where you can make a kick from anywhere. This add points to your score when your player is injured. And we'll see if we end up actually using any of these throughout the road to glory. I think they're pretty cool. Kicker Hex, is this what I've been searching for? This causes the wind to be in your favor. We only have enough credits to get one more. Quarterback Rocket. This increases your quarterback's passing range for one game, so we might have to bring that out at one point this season. But yeah, there was just a lot of neat stuff in this old game. We only have 11 matchups on our schedule before we hopefully get a bid to the conference championship and the national championship. The Big 12 might not have had a conference championship back then, though. And all I know is there was no playoff back then, so if we lose one game this season, we're probably not winning at all. At least when it comes to facing Tulsa, though, we know that this will probably be one of the weakest teams that we have on our schedule, so that's something I can look forward to. We can focus on improving. And what I've decided is it might be best if all I did was play offense and then let our defense get us the ball back. I think it's going to make us a lot healthier. We're not going to get many great defensive stats anyway. And I want to put the emphasis on being a receiver since that's exactly why I started this road to glory. But if we're just not going to catch free touchdowns, we might as well go with an odd play. If I'm being honest, I don't think I was meant to pitch that. This could be a crazy throw though. And we have gotten another sign, but it's still not the one we're looking for. I've yet to see one after throwing for a touchdown, but maybe if we can get this touchdown here, we'll get it this time around. And I'm starting to think that you just can't scramble on this game. I gotta stop holding down R2. That's not working. What we need is man-to-man coverage, so we could just hit this corner out here, though I'll take that. And I don't think there's any way to challenge anything on this game. Campus Challenge is the penance, though we might also be able to get away with challenge status. Never mind, that has to do with stat tracking. But the cool thing is, in looking through the menus, I've been able to discover some stuff, like we can celebrate with cheerleaders or fans. We just have to do that after we get in. And if we slow this down, what you're gonna see is we're able to drag a foot down the second that ball is in our hands before that foot even hits the ground, but they still didn't roll a touchdown. It's frustrating, but we're gonna run the same play back, see if we're able to get open this time around, and we don't. You know, whenever we play better teams, it's probably not going to be worth it to force feed it to one player. But here's the thing, our defense has been so electric, we're going to get it back. They're not going to be able to keep us in games whenever we face bigger programs, but for now they allow us to just test stuff out offensively. I like the odds of catching that football. But here's where the real trick comes in. Can we finish off the drive? No, we can't. I just know we have limited opportunities to score a touchdown with ourselves, but we can't throw it into double coverage. At some point, we just have to get some points up there on the board, and if it comes with another touchdown from a different receiver, that's fine. In fact, what might make more sense in the future is just moving ourselves to wide receiver 1. For whatever reason, inside Road to Glory, I can control the entire depth chart, so that's what we're going to have to do. Now, unfortunately, to end the first half, Tulsa did get in field goal range, but we're still going to have a 4-point lead, and we've had more total yards of offense, as you can see from those stats. We might be able to get a chance to just throw this one up to start the half. I mean, we have the size mismatch, and that's the build that I have set this guy up for, but what I'd like to look for more of is simpler throws like this. I recognize that if I would have used a different build, then we'd probably be able to go for a lot more yards after the catch. But here's the thing, offensively, I'm not having much success still. We're going for it on a 4th down that we are just gonna pick up. And now it appears I have injured my chest on that play. I didn't even know that could happen in Road to Glory, but apparently it can. So we are gonna be out of the game. Adrian Peterson is just making him look silly. And it says I'll return, so we're just going to hit the sub button and see if I can play injured. To me, this is the ultimate test right here. How bad do I actually want it? We're not going to get this one out. But eventually, I'm going to get that look that I'm hoping for. We just need 50-50 balls. It's not going to be single coverage, and it doesn't work. It's probably a little concerning that I'm going for this on a 4th and 19, but I thought we had a chance. And so far, our Heisman odds are dropping significantly because we only have one receiving touchdown, plus Brooks is about to take it to the house. That one receiving touchdown didn't even come from myself, so we really need to start scoring more. What is this? Playing as a defensive line user just isn't working. We need to be able to get Tulsa off of the field, and we might. I think these lower scoring games are going to make every finish a lot more interesting as well. And here we go. I got cover 4 out there on the field. We're going to try and generate some pressure, though I got stuck for a while. But luckily, we held it down, and here's my theory. I thought they were going to run commit. They didn't end up doing that. So they could still stop us and get the ball back. On College Football 25, the computer gets too aggressive, and that's an instant touchdown. Here, though, we get the first, and I am far from done. See, if we're going to win that Heisman Trophy, we need receiving touchdowns. We don't have a single one in this game, but they just can't seem to guard us whenever it's a 50-50 ball. Like, if I see man-to-man coverage, I know that we're about to score. I just need some time to throw it straight to Tulsa. Wonderful. Wonderful. They have a chance. I know that when it comes to playing this game, I am not one of the most talented. Just because that was the way it was on 14, it's that way on 25, but I feel lost playing 06. I don't care this was my first football game. Do you know how bad back then I probably was? I didn't have any idea either because I was just a kid. I was just enjoying playing a video game. I mean, I would have never tried an audible or anything on defense. When I do it now, it literally doesn't tell me what play I'm in. But those are the times that we're working with. 17 seconds left on the clock now. Their quarterback just stared at me for a second before heaving it. And we're doing a little bit of a shimmy, celebrating a dropped interception. You know what, though? As long as we close this out, I can't be too upset. I'm trying to become that defensive line user. And I don't know why I'm playing that in Road to Glory, but we finished the game, and we did not finish with a touchdown receiving-wise. Why are we celebrating like this for beating Tulsa? I mean, it's cool that they have that in this game, I guess. But if you compare these stats to last week's, even though the yards are pretty similar, no touchdowns is not good. What I want is my player's speed to be boosted. Our ratings are still not changing, though. I have no idea how I'm supposed to improve them yet. I can't even figure it out online. The Heisman hype is still maxed out. And the most interesting part about the Heisman watch right now is even though Adrian Peterson, Lonnie Church on this game didn't end up having any touchdowns last week, he is still above us in this. I didn't even think he'd still be in the Heisman watch. Thomas Cage wrote to us this week, "You must have shown the coaches a glimpse of a future Heisman winner to get on the field as soon as you have. Lots of guys have come to pay their dues before they get some serious snaps. Good luck this year. It's going to be fun watching your progression, and everything's been so positive so far." What really intrigues me, though, is are we on the front of the school paper again? Did we get mentioned by name yet? It is us on there. Defense again and again, though. They keep talking about our defense showing us. What I think we need to do is just go beat a ranked opponent on the road. It's our first road game, first time playing a ranked opponent, and they have yet to lose, so I'm curious if they've played anybody good or they've just had an easy start to the year. It really is so weird that in my lifetime, this went from being considered like the coolest graphics ever to now feeling so outdated, but I used to think this was as realistic as real life. I mean, I got to go out to the Rose Bowl for the cover shoot, so I've been looking around the stadium, even if this was like 20 years ago, trying to see if it looks similar to when I was there. Of course, we just fumbled the punt. No reason for that. But anyway, it's just so hard to see the detail on the stadium. I really should have been fair catching that ball, one of the first lessons my dad probably taught me. And we should have been giving up a touchdown there, but it's okay. UCLA committed a penalty after already making that mistake, so it's 3rd and 16 where they almost got picked. We have seen kickers before not be able to hit from here. They didn't either. But I'm having to feel stadium pulse for the first time. It's pretty loud. Will it matter, though, on whether or not we get separation now? The playbooks feel so limited in the stuff that I can actually run. I highly doubt we're going to be able to come down with this, but we might have beat them deep. And can we talk about how good of a throw that was? I don't know how there's another ball on the field. Maybe if I catch enough touchdowns in this game, my new girlfriend's going to show up with a Planet Fitness membership or something. We should be able to pick this one off, but they catch it. Genuinely, like, what is happening with this game? I can't believe I wasn't introduced to breaking controllers at a younger age. That was fully justified there. I was probably just scared back then my dad was going to spank the life out of me or something. But they just got gifted 3 points by EA. Back then, I didn't even know I could blame EA for my issues. It genuinely just used to be like a peaceful experience playing this game. Come on. I'm starting to feel like unless I'm on a go route, I'm just having some really, really rough moments. And whoever gets open here, we're just going to have to throw it to them. We can't risk getting stopped, but we still do. He should be doing a lot more than just slightly beating on his head. He should be beating him in some other places for not being able to hang on to balls like that. We can't be punting it back to UCLA, giving them a chance to take a lead right before halftime, especially with this return. This just feels like what's going to happen right before they break off like a 70-yard touchdown run. They're catching that. And what did I say? I can't lose a single game this season or else the year's over. That makes this 3rd and 2 extremely nerve-wracking, but we had so many dudes in the area. And I was playing it nice. I was going for like the 10, 15-yard gains. You know what I'm going to try and hit UCLA with now? the 50-50 ball that they can't stop. After a catch like that, I have a feeling we're going to upgrade to a cheerleader girlfriend. But what did I say? We need a lot of touchdown catches if our girlfriend's actually going to upgrade, and there's another. I'd say that's a really good first half for us, but I actually wanted to make it there first, and we have with a 14-3 lead. What this does is it really opens up the door for us to continue to have success on offense. I didn't see the deep safety back there. I thought this was going to be a one-on-one. And Lee Corso has me on another streak on third down, but I think we're just going to look in the direction of our slant or take a sack. I really hate how bad my pocket presence currently is on this game. They actually got that throw out to a completion, which is going to get them close. And I thought this game was a wrap, but now it's within 3 points. I think I have figured out a solution for how to scramble though. See, I just sorted it out. All I have to do is hold that back there in the pocket. And what is the point? What is the point if we're just not going to catch the ball? I'm going to immediately get it out, make a huge grab, and then just try to make things more simpler than that. I don't like the fact that I just keep throwing to the same guy. I had the option to take the drag there, but it just wasn't open. I think what we're going to do is we're going to run around. We're going to see how long it takes for us to get open. And then we're just going to miss a free touchdown. I should have run for the first down myself. I don't know if this is going to fall in the bucket, but UCLA has stopped us. We're about to end the third quarter on a really bad note, unless their defense doesn't cover us once again. What are we doing? No, you don't get to sit there and celebrate. This game should already be over. But fine, I'll just start clicking on to try and make every catch. They can't either. This really is a trip down memory lane. I remember I always used to do dynasties with creative teams. I know I should be excited for the interception, but I'm still mad that we're in this spot and we just phased through the ref there. We were inside him. All right, attempt like number 3 or 4 though, where I try and feed it to myself. I think this passing summary is so cool. It tells us what side of the field we go to. And I'm going to be honest, it's about time that we just lock in on getting the win, which is why we're running. Did they just fall over to try and give us this touchdown? I didn't want to take it. They really made Adrian Peterson as overpowered and realistic as he was. I mean, this is just ridiculous here. They're literally avoiding him on purpose. But then I try and throw it to a wide open receiver and they completely forget how to catch. I honestly thought that after that drive, the game would basically just be over, but we were able to get the ball back after an interception, so we have a chance to score again. And I am so dialed in on getting myself that one last touchdown that we should be able to get it. For a game that was so close as we started the fourth quarter, we really ran away with it. And that should be enough to keep us inside the top 2. Again, that is all that matters if we want to make it to the BCS National Championship, compete for that. And then for the Heisman Trophy side of things, I feel like we put up numbers that might even jump us up to number 1. It seems pretty hard to get over 200 receiving yards in a game, but we got back to the 3 touchdowns. And by the time that we get past our bye week, it's going to be interesting to see where the rest of the country is sitting. One thing I will say though is I never realized how long it took to simulate and advance through weeks in the past versus what we have now. And it's been like 5 minutes, man. I just want to play some more football again. Thankfully, we would eventually get there. It says that we're now an impact player up top. Our Heisman hype is fully maxed out on the meters still. I'm sure that we got more fan mail that we got to read through. And Chris Harmon says, look at you, only your first year and already looking like a seasoned vet. The coaching staff must love having a guy like you on the team. It makes their job so much easier when guys are able to pick up the system as quickly as you have. So I appreciate that from Chris. We've yet to get hate. And when it comes to the front of the newsletters, we are going to still be the picture during the bye week. The new face on the list, check out the movement for the Heisman Watch. So we're probably still in the running for week 6. Our name is even included. This is the first time they've name dropped us in the title. A star in the making. The Sooners are 3-0 and Bordeaux is a big part of their success. That's nice to see. And if we look at the Heisman Watch, there are some other receivers up here with us, some with more receiving touchdowns than we've had, but I think it's because they've played in more games. And all I care about is staying inside the top 2. There are other undefeated schools in the country that could still jump us, so we're going to have to remain undefeated. But I'd say things are looking pretty good so far, and we did even get a new girlfriend. We're not going for blondes. I've gone after blondes basically my whole life. It's about time that we switch it up, and it's going to be interesting to see how we handle our 8 Big 12 conference games. Again, we need to make sure that we win all of them. Next week, we play at Texas, which is going to be an uphill battle most likely. But for now, we're just taking on Kansas State, who is currently undefeated. It says that they're ranked 31st in the nation going into this game. They're close to the top 25. And it's going to be a night game for us, which is exciting. We're starting this one with our stadium pulse maxed out. But are we going to be able to get them off of the field on 3rd and 6? We have that all locked up. See, this is what I like to see to start a game. I think over time our corner route should get behind that zone. And now we're going to go for a little play action, see if they bite down, see if we can get that one-on-one look. But there's just so many times where the pass is not as accurate as you would want it to be. I'm glad it was there. Now, you all might be mad at me There was a cutscene after he brought that one in, but I accidentally skipped it. And it's looking like there might not be a touchdown to end this drive. What a catch. Even though that ball is literally on the line, it's been listed as a 4th and inches. What was that for a QB sneak? Why did he just pitch the ball? I've never been more confused in my life, but you best believe we're going for a safety. We're bringing everybody down into the box. They're throwing it in panic. And let's see if we can get through that hole, make a play. We came close. We might even be able to block this kick. I really don't understand how we messed up that last drive so bad. We got down to the 2. We had that incredible grab, but you know what? It's okay. We showed that we can get down the field versus Kansas State, and the ball was deflected. What was that tackle? I mean, this was cool. It was great that we caught this pass off the deflection, but that hurts. That just does not feel right to see somebody go down like that. It's something that you never want to see. I might have thrown it straight at him. But here's the thing. We're currently playing our best football right before we face Texas, and then we give that up. It's kind of funny how a road to glory has just turned into a full season with Oklahoma. And I've got to know how to make this cheerleader my girlfriend instead of who we have. Like I said, I've had a long run with blondes, but I think it's time that I switch to the brunettes. But in order to upgrade our girlfriend in this game, we might need to have some more 3-touchdown performances. What a hit. This is going exactly how I was hoping that it would. You know, we might even be able to send it super deep. It didn't seem like that deep safety could get back to it. And now that I've gotten more comfortable in this playbook, I have the exact play drawn up that I want to run where we get our separation, and it goes to church instead. That's ridiculous. He just stole our touchdown reception. He wants to stay in the Heisman race. All around, I'd consider this a pretty solid first half. Kansas State couldn't move the ball at all, and we've continued to play with ourselves at an elite level, which is something not a lot of guys can say. Are we going to snag this one, though? No, we're not. It turns out there are some downsides whenever you just throw it up all the time. Did he just sign that ball? He can't be flexing a turnover like that, man. We already got 150 receiving yards on his head. But I guess it's fine. I've learned that we can normally rely on our defense, and they come up clutch again. There might only be like 100 plays in this playbook, so I feel like I need to be able to keep on mastering them. Of course, we're not going to have any issues getting the first down. But what I really need to find is more ways for us to get the ball to myself without running the same play. I felt like that was pretty solid. I'm very curious to see what the double route does. Of course, we would have been open, but we just didn't have enough time because Campbell got in there, took us down. Then we have this bunch formation, and no matter what, there's going to be at least one safety back there to the spot that I am trying to reach. And I can't believe I've yet to find a 4 verticals in this playbook, but this might be the best that we can do whenever it comes to that, and that safety's still getting over there to play the ball, but we come out on top and we're just gonna flip into the end zone. I might have made a mistake though, because I'm pretty sure we just missed the end zone. There's a flag, and I don't even know who this is gonna be against. I think it might be against us. Maybe it was a block in the back. I guess that means we wouldn't have gotten credit for the touchdown either way, but we're gonna have to find a way to get credit for it. And instead I've thrown an interception. I think I've pretty much locked in the fact that we are going to be able to get the ball back. And also, our quarterback can't win the Heisman. He's just thrown way too many interceptions. But for whatever reason, I came out in punt block on this, and we still were able to get the stop. With as many receiving yards as we have had in this game, it is pretty remarkable that we only have 1 touchdown. And I am still determined to get 1 more, though that's an instant sack. I'm going to have to believe in our best bet being this corner route. We're going to roll out into it. We're going to find ourselves open, and he got a hand on it. What I'm curious about, though, is what if we went for it on 4th down and flipped the side of the field that it was on? Is it going to work that time? It does. I think it should be pretty understood why I'm so excited about this team, because we have them so shook they just punted it to us on 4th and 4. And I haven't even been running the ball with Adrian Peterson, but next week against Texas we might. I also need to remember how to run the option on this game. I don't remember what the pitch button is, but we'd have a touchdown here if I did. And I don't know how I just discovered this play. It's going to be the final one of the game. We're just going to throw it up. We're going to see if we can get a touchdown. 50-50 ball. I can't snag it. Talk about a good first 4 games in our season, though. I am very impressed with what we've done. And let's just get over to those receiving stats. It's got to be under 283 yards because that's what we passed for. But look at that. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. It looks like we do still have the same girlfriend, so we're being a loyal man, at least for the next week. Going into these Heisman watch, though, are we still on top? We are. It's just going to be really hard for someone to beat us out whenever it comes to stats. There is this guy for San Jose State that's near us in yards. yards, but he doesn't have as many touchdowns. And then Idaho also is a receiver putting up impressive numbers. But I think we're going to be okay. We got Jesse Samuel saying a lot of people question throwing a freshman to the Wolves, but you are silencing the critics. Keep it up, and I am sure that you will have a spot reserved on the freshman All-American squad, and you may even make a Heisman ballot or two. I'm not trying to just make a ballot. We're going to win it. Still not much faith there, I guess. What happened in the newsletter? What did they put out about us? Oklahoma is confident heading into rivalry game against Texas. And I can sit here and pretend that I'm confident, but in all honesty, going into the Red River Shootout, I'm pretty nervous. I had no idea if this was going to be on a neutral site or not, but this is not in Austin. It looks like they did used to play on a neutral site as well. Remember, back during this time, I was like 4. So that's just not something I'd be aware of. But there is something I'm aware of, and that's who Texas has at quarterback. It might say Darby on the jersey, but it's number 10. It's Vince Young. He was one of the best quarterbacks in this game. Probably even the best. I just remember of all the players, he was one of the most difficult to stop. And we've already been able to force him to a 3-and-out, which shocks me. This return from Jordan even could go to the house. We don't need to put up Heisman numbers in this game, but we need to have a good start. And we might have a chance to put up Heisman numbers as we have a 50-50 ball that we're catching. We're already making Texas look small. I was not expecting us to open up this well. But we have to be able to keep it up, and they're running the option, which is going to be difficult. I'm not too confident in my ability to stop it, but we fill the hole. And I am surprised how good of a start we're off to this early in the first half. We're going to try and go for a deep pass, which works for me. We're going to run the ball. We're going to do anything to win this game. It truly does not matter what our stats are. I can finally look in the direction of some other receivers. And I feel like we're in a pretty good position at the moment, though we need this corner route to work out for us, and they still got over there. See, I probably shouldn't have forced it over in that direction, but it's okay. We're going to have Russell running across. We get it to him, and he loses the football. There's no challenging it or anything. This is just the type of stuff we have to deal with. And I feel like the computer's play calling has been extremely poor so far. I mean, how many times are they going to run the same play over and over? It just doesn't make sense. And unfortunately, they were smart enough to run off as much clock as they could since we were out of timeout. So we're going to be getting this ball back with about 4 seconds. If we're given enough time back here, that does give us an opportunity to pull off a Hail Mary, but we're still well short of the end zone. They get the interception. And we should have been going into halftime in a much better spot. I was fully expecting this game to turn into a shootout. It just hasn't been that way so far. I think what we're going to do is we're going to get over to Peterson. They can't tackle him. He's going to get us the first down and more. And I really like this play, depending on if we go to the corner route or if we just hit our flat. The offense has clearly been a lot better when I'm not just focused in on trying to win the Heisman Trophy with myself, but we have to go for the touchdown. And from here, we just keep on leaning on our defense. It's going to be very interesting to see how Texas responds. We are not going to be able to stop Stokes, but they've had some abysmal play calling on third down so far, and they don't get it. I feel so fortunate to be in the current position that we're in. All I had to do was start moving the ball around to more than just one receiver. But I have gotten us to a 3rd and 13 where I'm not sure if it's going to get open there or not. That's not going to be in bounds. It would definitely be interesting to see what would happen if I couldn't play every snap, if I couldn't control the defense. But I really like that I've been able to, because I think that's what's helped so much. We've had the recipe so far to stopping Vince Young. He hasn't even tried to run on us, which is weird. I just feel like I remember that being the most frustrating part about playing against him. They caught that. There's just no way that they're getting that lucky. Over in the flat, we got Webb over here. We're trying to get out, make a tackle on him. And here comes the hurry up. What is Vince Young going to be able to do? That's close to a first. I can't really change the play call. We're just stuck in what we're in. They're going to keep going back to Barry. And I feel like it makes the most sense to just keep dropping guys back, make him make a mistake. I'm really not sure how I'm supposed to get user interceptions on this game, though. I mean, I've been trying. So I'm about to just switch over to user and a defensive lineman. And what's it going to take to get some pressure on him to where he makes a mistake? See, that's what I thought we were going to have to deal with all game. But fortunately for us, their offense didn't figure things out until the 4th. And now if they want to get the ball back, they're going to have to stop Adrian Peterson. This is just one of those times, though, where I felt like I could get them to bite. I had him for a second. We fumble it to them, and we just let the Longhorns get back into this game. In my mind, for half a second, it was worth it to go for the receiving touchdown. There's the scrambling. I'm really surprised it took him that long to resort to it. And now there's a flag. I'm not sure who this is against. I am really confused what happened. They pinned it on us. Vince Young, you're not scrambling today. I'm there. There's a reason I wanted to set the edge over on this side. They've taken off on 4th down. He's pitching it at the last second, and they have one more timeout. See, this is that miracle stuff that really worries me. I'm ready to stop them. I have a dude right there. They came so close. It doesn't matter who's in the area. They were catching that all day. It doesn't matter how many guys we put on Vince Young. he was eventually going to make plays like this. We're just lucky he didn't come alive until the fourth quarter. I feel very blessed that we're able to be the winner of the Golden Hat. Of course, we got to celebrate dumping that on coach. I mean, we shouldn't have won there. We had control of the entire game, and then I just blew it in the fourth quarter. I just don't know how much longer I can keep the winning up for. I feel like we're due to lose at some point. We play Texas Tech to end the year. I know Texas A&M's coming up soon, but at least we're staying on top of the Heisman watch list. We're not going to have as many touchdowns as a lot of these guys. I mean, we only have 10 for the season so far, which is a lot, but I'm playing on shorter quarters. It worries me that in the long run, our stats aren't going to be good enough. Let's see if we got fan mail about winning our rivalry. You're proving everyone why you were such a highly touted recruit. I think we all had some expectations for your first year, but I don't think anyone could have imagined the impact you've had. You're truly a Heisman caliber player. I appreciate it, Clark Lowe. Now that we're ranked #1 in the country, it's all about continuing to win. And here's the thing, the Big 12 shouldn't have a conference championship game back in 2006. So there will be other schools that play in more matchups than us and might be able to be ranked higher than us. Kansas is wearing the darkest blue jerseys I've ever seen them. That is not Jayhawk blue, that's for sure. We're just standing tall in the pocket. And we're gonna run the same play, but I've swapped packages around, so we are the wheel route, because I just noticed that wheel route got so open on the last play. It didn't really there, but that's okay. What we're going to do is we're just going to send it. And I'm going to send it on this play if they don't let me get the throw out. All I want to do is see how we can go far down the field. That shouldn't have been underthrown. That's actually extremely frustrating. Corner blitz is going to get to Goolsby. He cannot escape. And he really does have such a weak arm. I've been wondering if we should just be playing Bradford, but it's okay. I decided it's more important for us to score on this drive than try and force a touchdown to ourselves. I just don't know if Kansas's offense is going to be hard to stop or not. And what I don't want to do is get into a situation where we're chasing points. That was a bad pass. Morgan's getting these balls out as quick as he can. They handed it off on third down. And as far as I'm concerned, Kansas has stunk at football for like the last 20 years. But I think they could have been good around this time, just because it's been that long since this game was released. They might have been good back then. I don't know what was going on with Kansas football like 20 years ago. Again, I was learning how to walk and stuff. They have gotten us to a third down, though, where I just hit the wrong button. That's what I'm going to say. I decided after I'd hiked the ball that I didn't want to just throw up another 50-50 ball. And we actually got pretty lucky that they were holding there. We're in a position where we should get it back before the end of the first half, especially if they throw it to us. But when it comes to catching, everybody seems to have issues on this game. And I think the Jayhawks are being held to a field goal. We just can't give up anything to the end zone. We get the interception out of this, which is even better. Now, I think it's time that we go back to our jump balls, just because we made ourselves that tall for a reason. But Kansas does not want to see us winning. Anytime that we don't get the ball out very quickly, they are there, they are in our face, and I found a 4 verticals. I can't believe it took us until midway through the year, but I have found a 4 verticals, and we don't catch it. I'm not sure if it's the difficulty or it's just how this game worked, but it seems like nobody can catch the ball. There's a lot of drops happening at all times, and you know what? That is why we're just taking our chance right here. I believe that we can bring that in. It's almost like you have to click on to make the play yourself. This is not good. They're going to try and prevent us from getting our first receiving touchdown of the game, but I see man-to-man coverage, and the pass is horrible. Do you know how weird it is to be playing a game where there's like no pass leading or anything? You just have to hope that your guy makes the play. I mean, he did. We got the touchdown that we were looking for. We did everything that we needed to in the first half to put ourselves in a good position, but we still have to close this game out. Kansas is making some stuff happen. And I can only imagine how difficult this video concept would have been if I didn't commit to one of the best schools. So far, Kansas has done almost nothing. They have literally taken almost the entire third quarter just to get to midfield. It's 4th down. And the computer probably doesn't realize that getting this punt off in the final couple seconds of the third quarter drastically changes this game. They would have gone for it if it was the end of the 4th. Jordan getting out of there. And I think we're in a fine spot. Again, if they let a few more seconds run off the clock, they would have 100% gone for it, because that was their only way to stay in this game. We've made the catch. And you're probably wondering, why are you still throwing the ball? The reason is pretty simple. I want those Heisman stats, and we could have gotten a tutty. All I'm doing at this point is going for Megatron-like catches. We're going for the highlight plays. I mean, we should not get that. And these are the types of things that let Texas get back into it last week. I feel like we don't have to worry about that against Kansas, though. I mean, they just got the luckiest catch in the world right there. And their offense just isn't very explosive. They take a lot of these checkdowns. That's why it's 4th and 8, and we can end the game right here, which we do. But what did I say? We're focused on winning the Heisman Trophy, and if we're going to win the Heisman Trophy, we need better stats. Right now, you can see we're 3rd in our conference for receptions, 2nd for touchdowns in the country, and then 1st in receiving yards. We're about to take a sack right here, though. I don't know what I'm trying to do. I guess I'm just trying to back us up so I can get myself some more passing yards. On third down, it was a cover 2 look that we don't get. And the normal thing to do here would be to punt it back to end this game. Be happy with our 14-0 win, but I'm not. I want better stats, and we're going to catch it. We're going to go all the way into the end zone. Final seconds, game-winning touchdown. Well, not really a game-winning touchdown, but a last-second one. And that is what you call great sportsmanship right there. I'm sure their coach is thrilled about it. We already had some pretty good stats, but to get to 300 receiving yards really helps our Heisman case. And I figured by now we'd honestly get an upgraded girlfriend, because this has been week after week of just dominant performances. Maybe we actually love her, and we're just going to stay with her the rest of our career, though. We'll see as the season continues to go on. I like our odds of winning the Heisman Trophy. I really do. We're literally just putting up insane numbers. What I'm scared about is the fact that there's all these other undefeated teams, and if we lose one game that we're not going to make the Natty. And I like how much success we've had in Big 12 conference play so far, but it's just going to depend who we have to play in the future, whether or not they're good or not. Teams like Kansas, teams like Baylor don't really worry me that much, but I know Texas A&M was good at one point. Texas Tech is incredible. Oklahoma State and Nebraska could be good. And apparently this entire time I hadn't even advanced the week. What comes with that is more fan mail to read through. This time we have Reggie Mathis saying, I knew you'd be a tremendous asset on the field, but your work ethic seems to be very infectious. These guys are all just glazing. The team seems to have an intensity that was lacking before your arrival. You really are becoming a team leader. I'm a freshman. And the trophy crate is still empty. Now, if we go over to our closet, I think this is where we can check in on our overall, see if that's gone up at all this season yet. We're actually an 84, so it bumped up from an 82. But unfortunately, our speed still hasn't gotten any quicker. If that goes up, that's when we become a real threat. Baylor's 97th in the country at the moment. We're missing our starting tight end to injury. But there is no reason that we should fall to the Bears at home, and what I'm going to look for in this game is our create a sign, because for the signs I created, we still have yet to see them. These really are some throwback Baylor jerseys. This is when they didn't look great. At least in the game, we got like 3 different shades of green going on all at the same time. They're already going to be on a third down. But little do they know, they got an RG3 coming to their program in 5 years. And that's going to lead to some really fun seasons. With this punt return, I keep on trying to see if we can pull one of them off, but all that happens is we get penalties. And I think I've already said something about it, but it bugs me the size of the playbooks. What's crazy is it probably seemed like a ton of plays back in the day. We actually have a touchdown here if the ball isn't underthrown and they can get to us. But that's been a major issue all year. Man-to-man coverage, we didn't really route him up. And I hope I don't end up regretting just underestimating Baylor. To end the first quarter, we have them on a third down, and I literally see nobody open. I mean, they're just doubled. And let's see how they do in man-to-man against ourselves. Looks like they've kept pretty close. I'm a little bit worried for this next play because I'm pretty sure I could either run with it or I could throw it with Adrian Peterson. We had that in our hands. And what does this offense come to? We don't even look for like a 10-yard pass. We just go for the deep bombs. That isn't myself though, so I don't really want us to catch it. Must be nice to have more speed. You can just run by the guy and then we don't have to worry about making an aggressive catch. That ball is also about as close as it could have been to a touchdown. Instead, we'll take it here. Or at least I thought we would. We have the slant. It's open. They could have picked it. You know, at some point, the stats just aren't worth it. We have to take a lead against Baylor. If I'm being honest too, that 7 points might be all that we need to beat Baylor. Their offense has been pretty abysmal. I say that as they almost just picked up a first. And they could have gone for a fake here. I was actually expecting it, but instead they had a horrible punt. We're just going to use this opportunity to have a good offensive drive though. I mean, we've come away with the catch. We're looking fast. I don't know how. We're still on our feet. But look at that. There's our sign. Come to my dorm, daddy. I cannot believe we just got that out there. It was not a female fan either, so the mission has been failed. But that was obviously a sick play. Even if the physics made no sense at all, they had a terrible first half, and it just keeps on getting worse for them. I really thought that we were going to be heading into the fourth quarter actually, just because of how badly we were already winning this game by. But this is showing how terrible Baylor really was. The funniest thing would be if they were actually good back during this time, and they're just happening to have a down year during this season. I really don't know what to think. But we could go for the pick 6, and I'm not going to get in, or we do. I was hoping that we could get ourselves another receiving touchdown. And I must just be getting better at this game, because we were not winning like this against Tulsa. I remember that matchup. Definitely come a long way so far, and it's only going to get better from here. Especially if we can end the third quarter up 35-0. We're going for it. We're going for it. We bring it in. You know, maybe we are fast enough to outrun some of these corners. And I'm just starting to remember how overpowered size really was in these older football games. We fumbled that? what is even happening? There was definitely some fluky stuff going on back then, but we get the interception, so we have it back already. And I just feel like these passes that are shorter don't go where you want them to. Did we just hurdle over a guy after catching it? Like, let's just look at the slow-mo of the physics right here. I don't know what type of pain he went through. And I am genuinely just baffled at how terrible Baylor's been. We're going for the 42-0 win. We might as well see if we can get our biggest win of this video so far. And I feel like back then, EA hadn't been able to figure out how to code the computer to stop click-on catches yet, because they're so OP. All I have to say is this is by far the best game of our career so far. And if we keep going for almost 300 receiving yards, the Heisman Trophy is clearly a lot. I mean, we've been in first place for the longest time. The Heisman hype meter has been maxed out basically since my first game, and all we've gotten is positive notes in our mailbox. Plus, whenever the media talks about us, whenever we're mentioned in newsletters, there's a high chance that my name is mentioned up there. Bordeaux, Oklahoma catches the attention of the bowl rankings. This is extremely important, not just the coaches poll, but the media poll as well. As you can see, we're in second place here. Michigan could catch us with a Big Ten championship win. And that's why I'm thankful the final 4 games in our schedule are at number 19 Nebraska, against rivals Oklahoma State, against Texas A&M, who's pretty good, and then at Texas Tech. There's a lot of rivalries coming up. There's a lot of games that should keep our ranking high. And we have almost as many receiving yards this season as Nebraska's starting quarterback has passing yards. I should also note the Cornhuskers are missing a key cornerback and a key defensive lineman. So it's going to be interesting to see how that affects this game. On one of our first plays, I see us open down the field, but there's a safety back there, and it doesn't matter because we've come away with the football. Terrible tackle. That looks like it really hurt, but I put us in that spot because I thought we could make the play. We're going to take a quick little dump off and fight our way into the end zone. I mean, we're just running through them like a truck. I mean, seeing that just got me all sorts of fired up. They threw it at me. I didn't get the user pick, but we are starting off hot against Nebraska. I really think I might have just mastered this game on the difficulty I was playing on. I mean, it's now 14-0. So what I might need to do is move it up to Heisman, which is the highest one on here, I think. I enjoy a challenge, as fun as it is to win. It is clear that I've been able to get a little bit more comfortable on the sticks. So if we're going to go for a national championship, I really want to earn it, and there's no way that he's able to get there. We got to make sure we pick up this 3rd and 10. This game might not be over yet. I mean, we threw it at him, but I'm gonna go for it. We might end up giving them some crazy field positioning, and we do. The thing is, though, they still have to move the ball offensively, and on 3rd down, Grant was able to just duck out of that tackle. But just a couple plays later, I think we're gonna be able to hold them. We even force a fumble. Couldn't tell where that ball was at, but we got it. What a stop that was right there. Now, of course, we know how we can split the D. And I'm literally switching up packages versus the computer. I mean, when is this ever going to be fair? They're not going to beat me. It's okay. After this game, it's going to be interesting to see how I do once I raise the difficulty. And I should have just trucked my way through for the touchdown. I don't know why I decided to make it more complicated, but we still get it. Here in the 3rd quarter, we've spent about a minute so far trying to get them off of the field. On 3rd down, it's just bad. Like, by this point, I'm just overconfident. I did not mean to pitch it back to our quarterback there, but it worked out extremely well for us. I mean, we can really just do whatever we want. This throw isn't the most impressive one in the world, I will admit, but it doesn't really matter because if we're playing the field positioning game, I think we're going to be in a better spot, assuming they don't get that. They have no choice but to go for it, and on 4th and 5, we're locking down. That was only important because I would like to get one more passing touchdown, and I think what I've just had to realize is it might not be worth it to pad more stats. It's keeping me in a game that's been over for a long time, for even longer, though that's a new quarterback out there. Thomas is new. We make the snag. And is this the freshman? Is this Sam Bradford because our starter got injured? That would be something to have to deal with an injury like that at this point in the year. And after an entire half of trying to get that one extra receiving touchdown, we got it. I'm a little bit more worried about our quarterback, though. He's not on the injury report. And I don't know where these in-game boosts are coming from, but Sam Bradford, aka Mark Thomas, on this roster is actually a higher overall. He has a stronger arm. He is much more accurate, which is interesting. I will say, it feels great to win another ranked game on the road, but we know the difficulty is about to go up. And so these final few matchups are going to be tough. I thought we were on All-American already. I guess we weren't. It looks like, yeah, it does just go up to Heisman. I guess we'll bump it up to here for now. And that's really gotten me questioning in some games, like against Tulsa, how we only won 7-3 on varsity. That's very concerning. Of course, these final few matchups still looking pretty tough. Oklahoma State's the weakest of the 3. And in the current bowl rankings, we are the clear favorite as the #1 team in the country, but there's still those other undefeateds that scare me. It is looking like Michigan lost a game, which does help us. But we'll see what happens in these final few weeks. I'm guessing any mail at this point is just going to be continual glaze. Joe Green could be Mean Joe Green. Some people were just born to play this game. I was thrilled when you signed with us, but now that you've shown what you can do, I'm even happier that you are not making those highlights for the other team. If Mean Joe Green went to Oklahoma and this is a reference and he sends out fan mail like this, it would be pretty cool, but he went to North Texas. I should have known that. I was there last year. That was one of the main things that they talked about too, is what it is. It's time for the Bedlam series back when it was still around. I am a little curious if there are other uniform options for us. There aren't. The alternates are just going to be as boring as the rest. That's what Oklahoma rocks with. And once again, we're facing a team that has a cornerback that's out due to injury. This is definitely a scary game for me because I don't know how good the computer's about to play against us, how hard it's going to be. And it's going to be interesting to see if the computer's play calling gets any better. I really don't know if it will. On third down, we get the sack, and that right side of the field is pretty open for a return. We're just not fast enough. That's one thing I've really felt is we always seem to be slower than the other team. We shouldn't have caught that ball. And I'm wondering if I have to hit the X button for a speed boost as well. I think I might need to. What a catch. I gotta say, this is a really good start for us. I'm gonna try and get myself the touchdown. We have it. But the kick meter moved a lot quicker, and that's why we shanked this. Not necessarily ideal, but our offenses look good. And they are coming out in 5 wide against us, which gets them a completion. I'm gonna be honest, I don't mind sending a blitz here. It didn't end up working, but we took the shot. And it seems like they're gonna stay through the air more than throwing it, though when they immediately take off, we can't do anything. It's not like there's a way for me to put a quarterback spy out there on the field. They're just glitching through for the first. And the computer's definitely become a little bit more competent on offense. We cannot give up a touchdown before the end of this first half, though. They're gonna test one of our safeties, and they almost had it. But guess what? It didn't work for them, and he could just scramble for the first down, or he could try and complete this. I don't know why, but I feel like this is fake punt territory, so I'm ready for it if they decide to go for it. But it seems like they're actually just going to give it back to us, and if we let this bounce without them picking it up, we are going to be okay. Now, what I picked up from our first drive was we should continue to sling the rock like the difficulty never increased in the first place, though that was a bad route bounce. And maybe it is best if we just let Adrian Peterson go to work. They took a timeout though, so they definitely want it back. They're not going to get it back. We're able to go to midfield. And they have moved over to double team on the right side of the field, which means the left side was wide open. Goolsby's just not that fast. Maybe I need to hold down that button and that's how you sprint. That seems to be far more effective. I can't believe I'm just figuring this out literally like 9 games into the year. But that is a huge help for sure. I'd say we're in field goal range. We might even be in touchdown range, except the pass is so bad. If that was placed where it needed to be, it would be 13-0. Instead, we're gonna have to go down fast. And they held us up, so we can't kick 3. That is a very frustrating end to the first half, but we're open, and it's another bad throw. I'm gonna be honest, I don't care what the overalls say. I think it might be time to take out Goolsby. His throw accuracy is just not what we need to win games. We got Sam Bradford out there, and look at how much better that pass was. He is 90 throw accuracy to Goolsby's 82. I'm gonna assume we get this. And even if we didn't, I feel like I have a lot more control of where this ball is going. Let's go for the jump ball. We haven't tried it on this difficulty yet. And I'm going to have high hopes on this third down. Halfback angle route is off target. Just some unfortunate stuff happening. I've decided we're going to go for it on 4th down just because I wanted to. It basically silenced the entire stadium for a bit. They're not happy with it. Can I blame them? Not really, but I just play aggressively. I have to trust that we're going to keep getting stops. And on 3rd down, I know we got 2 guys over there. But you know what I'm not appreciating? Just the fact that we're in this position in the first place. I feel like we've already dominated this game. We can't pitch it. And I'm just hoping we hold on for the win. The thing with having Sam Bradford as the guy that's at quarterback for us is he might be more accurate, but he is very slow. So there will not be much scrambling with him. On 3rd down, I guess we're just going to take the shot. I mean, they cannot catch us there. What a play we're in. That was a little bit risky. I've just been taking those shots the last few plays. But it's nice to know that even on a harder difficulty, we can still make those plays. We're getting pretty close to being able to close this one out. On 3rd down, I wasn't quite able to get off of the line. It's a 50-50 ball that they're going to bring in. And there's a flag. I don't know who it's against. It looks like it's gonna be against us, but I'm not surprised. They're actually losing yards here. The thing is the longer it takes for them to get in the end zone, the better for us. And this 4-3 front is not playing around, though we gave it up. Even worse, my brain wasn't thinking, so we were not in onside kick recovery, but we did pick it up. Why are we lateraling it? It messes with my brain so hard that the speed boost button is the lateral button. And here we go. We're going to go for the halfback toss to the outside. Adrian Peterson, using his speed, gets us the first down. And to make sure that we won the bedlam, we would just run out the rest of the clock from there since they didn't have timeouts to use. Now, I think something that could really help us out is if we spend these credits on getting some new pendants. There's going to be team ones like Villanova. I think Molasses is a fun one. Basically, it increases your opponent's fatigue for one game. And you can even unlock all-time teams like Virginia's all-time team in here. I guess we just need to get lucky. This is where you could see them getting overpowered. Take Your Time is one that gives your team unlimited timeouts for one game. That's hilarious. And I'm just spamming them out at this point. We've been getting a lot of bowl games that I don't really care too much about, all-American teams, and of course colleges, but we want the cheats that we can actually use in the game. I don't care about Jacksonville State Gamecocks. I don't care about Louisiana Monroe. We're out of credits. It'd be nice to have overpowered ones to use in the final few games, but it's okay. Checking back in on the girlfriend. We're staying loyal. We're not switching up on her. We're still going to be the favorite to win the Heisman. And since there's 3 big undefeated schools still as we go into the final couple weeks, I'd be a bit more nervous if we were ranked at 2, but we're number 1. We're also going to be an award semifinalist for probably most awards out there. If you look at like the best receiver, obviously it's us. And I'm like 99% sure the Big 12 didn't have a conference championship back then, but if they do, we're going to have to play Texas. The only way that changes is if they lose one of their final games. We have to play 2 tough 6-3 teams from the Big 12 still, so we can't sleep on the Aggies. And it looks like the weather's going to be pretty solid for this one as well. It would be nice if we got like a snow game at some point. I want to see that. Until we get some snow though, we're just going to have to deal with this being the type of game we're playing in. We're going to get an interception on the first play. And I don't know what they just saw to think that was going to work out for them, but we're losing yards. I guess maybe I shouldn't look to just feed Adrian Peterson, though. We've done it here. And what I learned from the last game, no matter who our quarterback is as long as we are really focusing on running other stuff, we're typically going to have more success. We can't just stare myself down, though that's what we did here. And our third down conversion percentage is really low if you compare it to the rest of the country, but I felt like we should be able to get this, and it went to the wrong guy. Ken Powers also got hurt on that play off of a simple catch, so we're not going to be seeing very much of him. I don't like how we're having to escape this pressure. Was that the right decision there? I think we know the answer. I'd actually much prefer if we just don't talk about it. We're going to take a chance throwing it up. And what I've done for this play is I have schemed in a way where we could make this a 4th and manageable. We just had to make the catch and keep on fighting. We just converted on a 3rd and 28, and it makes me not want to switch up our running back, but I'm telling you, lateral being the R2 button is going to be the reason we lose the game. I cannot stress enough how annoying it is that I think I'm running faster by hitting it. And instead, it's just an option pitch. On 3rd down, we're going to be short. But I have faith. Probably more faith than I should. There's one receiver I trust in this situation, and that was just a punt. Our feet weren't even set. I don't know why I threw it there. And it's not like Texas A&M has had much of a chance to do anything. I called a timeout, hoping that we could get the ball back with a stop here. And I really don't see any reason for them to try and throw the ball, though they almost bounced it out. I'm really hoping that the same play that caused the first interception can work out for us here. I don't know why we keep doing fadeaway passes. We're throwing it off of a back foot that just doesn't need to happen. I don't know if I'm able to throw this ball away. But I thought I was at least running out of bounds. We have no timeouts left. We have our backup quarterback out there. This play can't be too long, or else we're not going to be able to kick a field goal to end the half. And if I could just place the ball where I wanted it to go, it would have been a touchdown, but it's okay. We have a 40-yard field goal attempt here to finish this one out. We're going to hit the power right, the accuracy right, and that should be in. It is. After losing 5 yards on a run to open up the second half, we're going back to throwing the ball. It's that corner route that I love to take. And let's see what we can do if we just spread the field and then throw it deep. We got a one-on-one situation here. You can't guard us like that. Now the game's frozen. It's saying we have broke a record. I just wish that you could get in-game updates like that on the new ones. We're hitting push-ups. We're proud that we set the new NCAA record. And then it actually means something. If you do that in college football 25, you wouldn't even know that you just set an NCAA record. I feel like little pieces like that I loved things from the old game wouldn't be that hard to add either. But I am saying that having no idea what it would take to code it in. I don't know why I was going for the touchdown there. This is the second time we've gotten to this spot now, and it's probably best if we don't go for the receiving touchdown. We just didn't need it. I am going to shank the extra point, though. Kicking has been one of the more challenging things about the difficulty going up. We just forced a strip, though. I didn't mean to. And what can you do if you're Texas A&M? You basically just gave us more points in this game. They're actually covering the corner route pretty well. It doesn't matter. And I know know we could just punch this in, but you know exactly what I'm going for. I want us to be patient. I want the passing touchdown, and that should have been intercepted. It's literally a free 3-possession lead right now if we just hand it off, but I really want to win the Heisman Trophy. And it's worth it for us to go for this 2-point conversion here. We're clearly just going to have loads of space. Now, it's been a long time coming, but Texas A&M's put together quite the drive. And that's the one time that they'd get on the board in this game, we'd still win, which puts us just one matchup away from making the national championship. Outside of trying to win a championship, though, I feel like we've already reached our max whenever it comes to our overall. We've been at an 84 for a bit, and the fan mail is not going to change at all. It's just going to be the continual fans being very happy about what we've achieved. It is a little weird that they're referring to me as a future Heisman contender, considering that if we go over to the Heisman watch, we've been sitting in first place now for like the entire season. I really hope that we have it locked up. Texas Tech is who we face next, who just lost another game, I think. And both USC and LSU are still undefeated, so we have to win. Nationally, whenever it comes to receiving yards, we are blowing everybody else out of the water. You can see we're also doing that with receiving touchdowns. And I think it's time we go for our first trophy. Assuming there's no conference championship game, this would win us the Big 12. Once again, it looks like the weather's just going to be perfect for us. There's not going to be any rain even. And let's see what they got on their first snap. I feel like their field looks so weird. I'm guessing this is just how they had the turf back then. I took a closer look at that yellow, or I guess white thing below the QB2, and it's going to be a little trippy once I point this out, but if you watch it, it looks like it's just floating underneath him. Even upscaling these graphics as much as I have, there's definitely parts where there's even issues with the game. Like, they should have caught that. So I have to say, when I'm done filming on 06, I'm probably never going to load it up again unless I just throw it back and play against my dad one more time. That was my introduction to these college games. He also did a lot of Madden stuff too. But do you know what scares me? I got him a console for when the game drops. So now he is College Football 25. He'll have 26, but he never played it. He's like a grown adult. He doesn't have time for video games. What that makes me think of is that what I'm going to turn into whenever I have kids one day? Am I still going to be doing YouTube 10 years from now? Am I still going to be doing college stuff? Like, there's all these unanswered questions. I just don't know what the future holds. And I think that's the most intimidating thing. You can like plan out your life to go some certain way, exactly how you think it should. And then you'll be taken on a path that is completely different than whatever plan you set out. Like for me, I was in college. Full scholarship, trying to get a statistics degree. But then sophomore year, I upload one YouTube video again, and I'm all of a sudden doing this. TikTok immediately takes off. YouTube immediately takes off. And within a few months, I had dropped out, stressed my mom out because I'd given up a full scholarship to play video games full time. But that's the type of random stuff that can happen I'm talking about. Like, you just can't really plan your future. You just have to hope things go well. Give me this pick. Come on. Good little talking. No, why are we flicking it back? We don't need to flick it back. Anyway, yeah, we get in those deep talks. That's when I play best on these games. That's what I'm realizing. So let's see, what else can we dig into today? I guess I got cheated on by a girl I thought I was going to marry. So what if that happened? What if I got married to her? I was already unhappy, man. I was just scared. It was my first love. I was like, oh, we'll just make it work out anyway. No, not worth it. I feel like it's just a universal experience that you got to go through one bad ending to a relationship. See, I'm just talking about stuff, and we just do good things in this game whenever I talk. But yeah, as a guy, you learn so much from that first heartbreak, especially about women. I'm even getting the kicks not going out of bounds anymore. I mean, we are playing flawlessly, though that could have been a tackle there for sure. It's feeling like a national championship is right on the way. I've just hit that point in the video where I've played through a full season. I've been filming for multiple days now. And all I can think about is the dinner I'm going to eat after we hopefully win a national championship, though Hodges just broke off a huge run. Now that I'm back up here in Kentucky, there's like so many places I never went to. But getting to take my parents out to dinner to all these new food places, trying them, it's been a good time. I am way too hungry for this right now. I better lock back in. Come on. We can't let Hodges do this. We were playing so well for like the first 2 quarters, but we haven't finished the second yet. And as long as they don't get a touchdown, I'll be happy with it. Now, what I don't know is whether or not they have any timeouts left. This might be the final play of the half. And you've got to be kidding me, man. Where was our defense? As good as things were looking, this one is not over yet, though we do have a wide open corner route. We just aren't fast enough to score. It's been so weird using a talented receiver that can't just outrun everybody, because that's where I normally have a lot of my success. And I really don't mind getting our running back some more carries. I mean, Adrian Peterson's going to be fun. I guess we're going to get a slow-mo of that stiff. Gave that dude a little stiffy, left him on the ground. Now we're going to go over, get inside the 10. And I'm honestly hoping they just give us that exact same coverage look, because we should have a touchdown. We just have to be patient, and they almost got it. You know, we are pretty fortunate that that didn't actually end up being an interception. How did we score there? I didn't even throw it to him. This is just pure luck, honestly. I mean, it went through their hands. I really think unless our defense is just wide open, giving up a ton of stuff again, we should be good. And let's see what they go with on second down. A little bit of a play action. We get a hand to it. I love how these linebackers actually react whenever a ball's thrown in their direction, though I'm shocked that they're punting. It's because it's the third quarter. It's just a bad idea for them to punt. But we're getting a return going in our favor. I'm going to take this in. There's no reason to try and get a receiving tutty. I've been waiting to pull off one of those for this entire video, but there's a flag. I'm not sure what this is for yet. Is this going to be for the celebration? I have a feeling that's it. That is so wild. We didn't even do anything crazy. I mean, I could come up with some ideas that probably would have been deserving of that penalty, but it's not like I acted out on them. Like, let's see. Don't they always have a black horse in the stadium? Imagine after scoring a touchdown, you run over, you find the horse, and then you just ride it. Then, while you're riding Texas Tech's horse, you throw on a horns down or something too. Just because if we're gonna use Oklahoma, it's important that we always keep that in mind. Then, while you're on the horse, doing the horns down, maybe you like run it up into the student section or something, just for fun. I don't know. If I did something like that, maybe then I can justify the 15-yard penalty. And does this game just not respect the user? I feel like I can't get a pick. By the way, that makes me think of the TikTok sound. Here we go, showing my age right here, where it goes, the user, it's QJB. Anyway, finally met him down in Orlando during that event like a couple weeks ago. Coolest guy ever. He's also a Pacers fan like me, so we might be experiencing an NBA championship. And the thing is, we could just end the game there, but I think it is more worth it for us to go for more receiving yards, see if we can embarrass these two kids. And if we can't, maybe we'll get it to work on this final play. It's just going to be like an extra 30. That bumps up our season stats a little bit more, and I'm waiting on a Heisman pop-up or something, but all I'm getting is week 13 commits for Oklahoma. There's just some buggy things in Road to Glory. Even back then, I think that's kind of expected. We did get ourselves a new girlfriend though, so we continue to upgrade. And it looks like over the next couple of weeks, other teams have games, but we don't, so we're just gonna have to wait. Well, I can certainly say I have been left very confused because this is what our conference standings look like going into conference championship week. And you could even argue Texas has a chance at beating us and then making it into the national championship. But for whatever reason, it looks like for the Big 12 championship that does exist, Nebraska's who we'd be facing instead of the Longhorns. I don't really understand that. I went to read some fan mail though, and look at this. The school is going to have to buy a trophy case just for your awards. I predict you'll be the most decorated athlete in program history. I'm looking forward to proving me right, Mr. Heisman. So they're already calling me the Heisman Trophy winner. We've played Nebraska once already. You can see the title is on the line in Houston. I don't understand if that's like the national championship or what. I don't know why I'm just so worried that something will get glitched with this game, that something's going to break. I think that this is the Big 12 championship. It should be. I simmed it because we've already played Nebraska once and we got lucky. That was a little bit closer than I would have liked, but at least we've been able to get to the trophy ceremony. We're winning Receiver of the Year, then the Maxwell Award. The Heisman's probably coming up soon. I didn't see it pop up. And then it says this: congratulations, you're a Heisman finalist. Is this taking us to a ceremony? Okay, hang on. This is actually really cool. I think this is something they should bring to the next game.
Who wins the most prestigious award in college football, the Heisman Trophy. It's an honor to present this award, which goes to the best college football player in the country. This young man will become a part of NCAA football history.
They actually have a show. There we go. It's going to be us. They said congratulations. We get to see that clip. That's something they could so easily bring to 26. And look at all those first place votes. It wasn't ever a close contest. I must not have liked my other girlfriend too much though, because we have another one already. It's been like a week. This time we went for one that has some blue eyes. Never been a huge fan of the short hair, but can't say that I'm complaining either. It looks like we are still an 84, unfortunately. Look at all those awards though. I was sure there was a better display for it. That's what I've been able to find. This is just our little trophy crate that we can look through. They even have something written on it. This is pretty neat, man. We're getting letters. Please believe we're going to set the college football world on its ear this year. With a player like you, we have a legitimate shot at winning any game that we play. Duh, we're undefeated. It's an exciting time to be an alumnus. Is that even a real word? I thought it was alumni. Anyway, you have given us all a reason to cheer. You're welcome, Rudy Milton. I think it is time we play one final game. We put it on Heisman. This is it. And this is probably a massive setup for disaster. Am I going to be able to stop Reggie Bush? I have no idea. I've already realized I can't even kick. But this would be earning the national championship. We've already won the Heisman. I am just terrified to see what's going to happen once he gets the ball in his hands. Nobody's been able to tackle me yet. And here we go. On third down, I can't get back over there. We almost got a hand on it, but it just wasn't enough. We're giving them too much time back there in the pocket. And let's see what we do here. They're not going to have anywhere to go. I've literally been running straight straight cover 2, but I think it's time that we mix in a cover 3. We are able to get the sack. And now for the side of the ball that I'm a little bit more worried about. Against Heisman coverage, I can't guarantee that we're going to get open here. The field is also very dark, by the way. That's a pick. And why can't I just place that ball to the sideline? It would have been a completion. I guess you could say that was not the offensive start we need. And I feel like a lot needs to go my way if we're going to win. We're playing basically the best team in the game on the hardest difficulty. We can't tackle. And was there dynamic weather back in 06? Because it just got a lot nicer out. It could be the shadows that are making it look so bad. I was not expecting Reggie Bush to grab that and then still be up. But it's clear they're probably going to be running the football, and I just know I'm not getting the pick. It's pretty frustrating, to be honest. The play action has faked me out, but we have guys there to catch it. And at the very least, USC is about to get a field goal. We cannot let this guy run for a touchdown, though. We're good. We're even better. It's a fumble. I thought the play was over. I was already panic calling a timeout. This should be an easy completion. And you have to think, if we get the ball to start the second half, we just can't give it back to USC. If we're going to get stalled out on this drive, we need to take some time off the clock in the process. And I'm not sure if we've done a good enough job of that on 3rd and 2, though. Adrian Peterson, make sure we get it. Now we're basically going to be in hurry up mode because we've gotten it down to about 30 seconds left. I thought our tight end had the jump there, but there's like 4 guys around him. And I can't believe that just worked out for us. We have found the shadows on the field, though. And that was such a quick blitz. I had our running back in the flat that time. I should have just taken it. We need to make sure that we get out of bounds here. And since we didn't, we're going for the Hail Mary. It says I shouldn't even attempt a field goal from this range. I trust our size. Plus, I know I would have shanked it if I kicked. It's a little disappointing we didn't get any points out of that. I actually hurt us by playing so passive. But who is that throw to? That just can't be happening. It was such a bad pass. Their fullback is somehow scoring a touchdown. And they have turned things up in the second half. Well, I have clearly been mentally affected by our early struggles, but we're going to be able to catch this right here. I tested the one-on-one, and my mentality has now shifted. We're just going to send some stuff, hope that we get lucky. I don't think there's anywhere for us to really go here. And let's see if my favorite corner route gets open. It always does. It always does. It always does. You know, here's the thing, though. That kick barely went in. And I can't stress enough how terrible I am at kickoffs with this meter. I genuinely pray that they never bring that over to the new college football games, because I won't be able to hit a kick. It is so fast, and with the emulator I'm using, there's like a slight delay when I press a button. That's probably the only reason I've even thrown interceptions in this video, if we're being honest. Get a hand on that. Oh, great tackle. Great tackle attempt. It's actually disgusting. This gets to be a game-changing performance highlight. I mean, we just missed it. I have a feeling that there's no winning this. I kind of had that feeling the second that I set this difficulty on Heisman mode, which means if I end up doing anything that seems a little bit cheesy, don't you worry about it. It's a total accident. I'm definitely not meaning to throw this corner out like 4 or 5 times in this game. And I wonder if the CPU back then was actually smart enough to adjust. It seems like we just need to get rid of this one and hope for the best. That really should not have worked. I panicked. Give me a zone look. We're not going to be able to get it. I just need more time back there for this route to develop against a cover 2, and we might find ourselves scoring a touchdown. We're getting man-to-man looks, though. I mean, we're fortunate that we even recovered the fumble in the first place. Let's see if our tight end's open over the middle here. No shot. No shot. I mean, yes, you can celebrate like that when you just come out of nowhere, but like, look at the hops on this defender. This wasn't even the one I was throwing it over the head of. He just magically gets that up. I think it is time to throw the corner route. The corner route better be open here. If it's not, Russell should be, and he's short. He's short. Do you have any idea how much trouble we're in? We have to stop Reggie Bush, or apparently we have to stop this fullback who's just going to end the game with this run. I mean, he's going to the 35. We absolutely just really hurt our chances, but I've gone over to a 4-4, and he just runs through us. I mean, I'm not sure physics even exist in this game at this point. He stiff arms us. He's gone. He's gone. That's Reggie Bush for you. To be fair, I thought by this point in the year, I was going to have like a 99 speed 6'6 receiver. I thought we were going to be able to upgrade our stats and do stuff like this. So I was really thinking a natty was going to be possible when I started filming, but things just didn't quite work out. I'm throwing up the jump ball instead. They still swatted it. Here we go. Potentially our last chance at getting in the natty. We're gonna not even be close. Could this have potentially been us if I didn't up the difficulty? Maybe, but we would have really earned it if I won on Heisman. And coach is just bouncing on those players there. There's no other clips outside of that. I completely forgot about our game cheats as well. We never used any of them, and I am so confused. I thought it was over. We were done with the season, but then it's given me an off-season schedule I can go through. It didn't actually let me do any of it though. We've gotten a new girlfriend again. I mean, at this point, we're just getting around. We're getting a new girlfriend every single week. And it is what it is. We have our stats down there. 2,625 receiving yards, 26 touchdowns. We only got to an 84. But I think we left a good impression. We got fans saying they're going to retire my number even if we didn't win a championship. And if there's any other old college football games or just old sports games in general you want me to go back, play through, it makes for good off-season content, let me know in the comments.